Alright, hey everybody, Matt here from Around Square. I've got all my products laid out for our preview video for the May 2024 product launch preview. And yeah, I'm going to get right into it here. I'm flipping a set of Milos short form here at Bugleri, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I want to start off by talking about these guys here. So these are the Commons long form MK Ultras in Oxhorn. Last month we launched the Sheephorn edition. They sold out immediately, and apologize to people who missed out. We don't have a restock of those, but we do have the Oxhorn version available. And the material, like, it feels and kind of holds up. You know, performance is roughly the same between the two materials. Biggest difference is kind of the color and the opacity, I would say. We'll see a comparison in a minute. I actually don't have a set of the Sheephorn Commons anymore because they literally all sold out. But you can see the Oxhorn here varies a lot in color, much more so than the Sheephorn. So these ones, they have a lot of striping of like dark and light in the individual beads, and they go from like this one here, there's like an off-white, like very light in color, through to like a very dark brown here, not quite black, but yeah, just like within individual beads, you see a lot of like quite interesting color variation that makes the material super cool. They're warm to the touch. The sound is very like light and crisp. And the material is nice and durable. Like, I've been playing these a lot and dropping them my own prototype sets of horn material beads. I don't have the Commons specifically for my own personal use, but I've got some Bugleri set up that use common beads, and I've been banging them around a lot just to kind of put them through their paces. It's a really good material. You know, it's one of the traditional kind of classic materials for worry beads, and you know, keep in mind that horns were developed on animals for like butting heads and banging together, right? So it's a strong material, but it's a natural material, so you want to be careful with like abusing it in terms of like, you know, getting it exposed to water, are you cleaning it with harsh chemicals and that sort of thing. Just be gentle with it, and if you do need to clean it or something like that, just be gentle, make sure it's like wiped clean of any kind of chemicals, and then give it a little bit of oil. The supplier really recommended oiling them periodically just to keep the material like kind of hydrated so it doesn't dry out. If it dries out, it becomes more brittle and prone to cracking. Okay, so you can see the beads here, they drop really nicely. They're great for raindrops. There is a little bit of snagging on some of the beads, just like it's a natural material that's drilled, and the inside obviously isn't polished. And I think it's just that the nature of the material that kind of leaves the inner bore a little bit rougher than what you might get with like a modern metal, for example. But you see it with the wooden beads as well. They slide pretty nicely, and even just as I've been using this one, it's smoothed out a lot. So I think there's no like rough part in the middle. Like with the jade Bodhi seeds, they're actually hollow in the very middle, and there can be a little bit of a burr there that is rough and snags on the cord. Not the case with these. They're fully solid, and so just like a little bit of abrasion between the inner bore and the cord through use, I think you'll find that they'll smooth out and drop even nicer than they do initially. But they, you know, straight out of the box, they're pretty darn good. Okay, so this is the long form version of the Commons of the Commons MK Ultras, designed to be worn on a double loop on the wrist, or if you're not wanting to do that in that particular moment, you can. I often throw them in the pocket with the tassel kind of hanging out, and then I can just like kind of grab it out of the pocket. And yeah, really nice for slinging around. Not super technical, but you know, I often carry a set of Bugleri with me as well, so I'm not trying to do any kind of elaborate freestyles when I break out the Commons or the Ultras. I'm more just like wanting to do some little like kind of little tricks to keep it entertaining for myself, or you know, if it's you know, the context doesn't allow for that, cinch it up, do a little bit of bead counting, or raindrops, whatever the case may be, right? Okay, so that's the long form Commons MK Ultras in Oxhorn. We've also got the short form version, which is a little bit more nimble to play, and just like a little bit closer to Bugleri in terms of the types of tricks that you can do, and depending on your cord length and so on. I tend to keep my own cord pretty short on the single loop version of the Ultras, the short form. That's because I don't want a super dangly piece here. So the idea is that it comes super long for anybody with like gargantuan wrists, and then you just like adjust the knot and trim off the excess. I kind of keep it about here, and that means like it doesn't get in my way particularly. It's still enough cord that I can pull it up over my elbow if I want, or if I want to take it off and flip. Like you don't actually need a ton of cord to do some basic kind of Komboloi style tricks, right? If you want to do more elaborate tricks, then you have a longer cord, and then when you cinch it up, you can kind of like loop it through, do whatever you want to kind of keep it out of your way, or just let it hang down. Honestly, like I just kind of play with the tassels periodically when I'm wearing mine. So whatever your pleasure with those. But yeah, that's the short form of the commons with Oxhorn. All right. Oh, landed. Okay, so that's those guys. So given the popularity of the horn material last month, we decided that we should really rush through the other projects that we have going, and we put a little bit of pressure on the supplier, and they were happy to comply, and they have delivered us some absolutely beautiful 14 millimeter Milos. Yeah, so here they are. So these ones here are the sheep horn, and you can see that the sheep horn has like a translucency to it. They almost look like a peeled grape or something, but it's a really neat material, and very different from the Oxhorn. You can see the Oxhorn is quite opaque compared to the sheep horn. The sheep horn has a little bit more of that kind of amber appearance to it almost, but it is more monotone in terms of the color. You do get some beads that are more opaque, and then some that are more transparent, and you do get some striping and so on, the color variation within the material, but it's within a more narrow range. So these are the short form MK Ultras in sheep horn. Freaking, like as I'm looking at them in the camera, I'm calculating how many of these I can have for myself, because they're awesome. Here's a long form set, and for the long form versions in the horn material, we've opted for the full titanium tassel. And what that does is, because it's a little bit of a heavier material compared to some, especially in the long form setup, these beads, the size of the beads and whatever. So the titanium on the tassels just gives like a nice extra bit of counterweight to balance it out if you're flipping it from the end. Okay, so it gives a little bit more like momentum to lock it in the hand. And consequently, if you're flipping from the middle like packets, you don't need a 50-50 or even close. Like you can have much more of the beads at this end. But it's like, you don't need a perfect equilibrium to flip them around. It's pretty nice. But be aware with the Milos setup here, it's definitely like heftier and more cumbersome. It doesn't feel heavy at all, but when you're flipping it around and then you pick up a set of the commons just feel like light as a feather and flip around. It hadn't really occurred to me how much the weight difference was between the Milos and the commons until I started going back and forth between them. So both amazing, beautiful sets. I'm going to continue on here with the Oxhorn variant. You can see here again, just to hold up to get the contrast between the materials. They're both amazing in their own way, right? But yeah, you can see that the sheep horn up here is more transparent, and the Oxhorn just with more contrast and color variation. Okay, and then we've got the short horn, the short form version of the Oxhorn variant here as well. Okay, so we got these beauties, and we didn't stop there this month. I realized we have like tons of MK Ultras and not a lot of Bugleri this month, so I decided, we had a few kind of stray beads, and I decided, well, let's actually divvy up the beads a little bit to make some Bugleri as well. And I've been personally playing a lot of short form lately. I really enjoy the short game Bugleri type setup. And so I've been flipping it around. If you've been following my Instagram, you see a number of videos that I've done with short game setups for Bugleri. And what I mean by short game, compared to kind of the conventional Bigleri length, which is like maybe like double this, for me, when I play long game and I'm hooking the Bigleri over my index finger, the beads will usually start kind of towards the base of the pinky. So I've got like that much cord exposed. Here I've got like a little bit more than half of that probably. And it just makes it very bouncy. Okay, it springs back and forth. And especially with these lightweight beads, is really conducive to like this kind of springy, lightweight, quick play that you have in short game. So I wouldn't recommend these beads for long game necessarily. I think it's more of a short game setup. That's how I'm deciding to kind of market it. And I definitely wouldn't try putting 550 paracord into these. Keep in mind the Milos beads have a smaller bore. And if you jam 550 cord into a smaller bore, it puts a lot of pressure on that bore. And then the beads are less resilient. They're under pressure and they're more likely to crack if you bang them together. So I'd recommend not trying that, but on the 2mm Kevlar cord or the thinner cotton cord or silk cord that we sell, or even 275 paracord, although that's a little bit stiff, but any of the thinner cords, you'll find these work pretty well. And this is like a very nice kind of traditional feeling Bigleri setup. Okay, so we've got these in, this is my own personal set in sheep horn, but we've got them, it's a 3-stack in ox horn here, or sheep horn here. Okay. 3 beads at either end. And there you go. All right, so I think that's it for the animal horn material. I'm going to get these guys out of the way for the moment. All right, and next up we've got this beautiful specimen here. This is our Chaos pen, the ballpoint pen that takes the Fisher Space pen refills in polished Ultem. So I actually don't have an ink cartridge in here. This is my own that I copped last month. This is the machine finish, but even with the machine finish, you can see the ink cartridge through there. The polished is just like that much more kind of reflective in the light and kind of allows the light in, so it illuminates the material more than my own piece. What you don't get on either of them is a polished inner bore. So the inside where the ink cartridge goes through is just drilled, right? It's so there's no polishing of the inside. So don't expect this to be kind of optical clarity all the way through, because the top part of the space for the ink cartridge is pretty wide, right? So there's not a lot of clear polished material for the light to pass through up there. Down here at towards the nib and the cap is more clear. You can probably see that. You can even see the little bit of the kind of spiral striations from the drilling in there. Okay, very pretty. And if you didn't pick one of these up last month, now's your chance to pick up the polished version, and it's going to be on drop pricing. And I got to say, like I love this combination of the fountain pen and the Chaos pen. I usually carry these guys with me, and they're so light that you can just throw them in the pocket and you've got both available. You don't even feel them in the pocket. All right. Okay, and I should mention too, I don't have the clips here, but we do sell a Snap-on stainless steel clip for these guys if you're a clip person. All right. Okay, then moving on. Let's go to these guys. So if you're like fully connected in the community and paying attention to all the little details, you would have seen on our website a little listing for what we call the unknown. And that's a little space where I sometimes release like short run products or limited editions, or periodically I'll do a little preview or like a pre-release type thing of a product that hasn't launched officially yet, something that arrives late. And that's what happened last month with these little planks. So originally I was planning on including them in the product launch last month. They arrived too late for us to get them like fully into the newsletter and the product listing, like the full photos and everything. But I had them in my hand. I couldn't help myself, so I put them into the unknown. If you figure out the password, that's amazing. It's a really difficult password, and you guys rose to the challenge, a lot of you. If you didn't, or if you're just seeing this now for the first time, these are the Delrin planks, and they are coming in this month's product launch. Got them in 6 colors. Listen to that sound. I really like that. Anyways, yeah, the yellow is a bit special. It's different from the other yellows. It's more of a golden, kind of a honey color than the brighter yellow that we've seen in most of our previous Delrin products. So it's not going to totally match the rest of your kit if you're a yellow Delrin fiend, but it's pretty awesome. It's like more of a slightly more of an earth tony yellow, which is a nice. It's a refreshing change. But yeah, these are the planks. I love them. I stole a black and white one for myself, and I carry them around. I like to have the kind of matching stuff, so I've got like matching Delrin pens as well, which is kind of fun. I see a lot of you guys posting photos of your matching kits on Instagram and in Facebook and stuff, so I know you can relate. I don't feel like too much of a self-conscious nerd talking about my obsessions when I do these videos, because I know I'm with my people, right? All right, so anyways, yeah, these are great. Launch pricing this month, and yeah, if you buy 6 of them, there's no discount, but they look cool together. All right, then moving on, and I guess in some ways moving up. Check this out. So I think this is the first time we've ever done this, but these are Mokutai Commons Mala. Okay, so we had a batch of Mokutai Commons done up because we were out of stock on them, and we've had the short form MK Ultras in Mokutai done up before in the past. I don't think we've ever done the Mala set, and decided to do the Mala with mini Sigmas as the tassel beads. And this is just a beautiful, just a gorgeous set, really, really stunning visually. And Mokutai, as you know, it's like folded layers of different grades of titanium, and then they torch it to bring out the colors. And these have an adjustable knot. It's a double overhand, so you can slide that through if you want to wear it on your wrist, and then cinch it back up. Yeah, it's like the sneaky little way of doing that. But for bead counting and breath work and stuff, I often just carry them in my pocket. But the tassel on these is by design. It's a lot shorter than you would normally have on the MK Ultras, so it's it's less likely to get in the way and stuff, right? So we've got these beauties, and I know the camera never fully picks up how nice the material is, but it's really stunning. I've never heard from anybody who's been disappointed when they've gotten the Mokutai or the Zircutai beads. So we've got also the 2 styles of Begleri that we've sold in the past. So we've got the full Mokutai Begleri setup in the Commons. And the Commons are honestly one of my favorite beads that we sell. I have my own set. Unfortunately, because I carry it around so much, I've left it somewhere and can't find my own set right now. But I have my own on the 2mm Kevlar cord. But when we sell these, we ship it on our thinner silk cord, so that you guys get the full kind of luxury experience. But this is a 3+1 titanium and Mokutai setup. So Mokutai weighs the same as titanium, so it's evenly weighted. And you just get that sharp little accent there, kind of fun, and it sets it off in a really nice way. Or if you want the full effect, then you go with the full 4-bead Mokutai version, right? Then moving along, just got a couple things left. We also have a restock on these beauties. So these are the Zircutai Nanos. Okay, this is the long form setup here. And the Nanos are kind of one of the classic and most loved sets of MK Ultras that we sell. They look really nice on the wrist. It's got that kind of real refined look, and it's really distinctive as well. It's not like the round beads that we sell that are kind of a more common design. It's really distinctive. I haven't seen anybody else selling beads quite like this. And then you add that to the Zircutai material, and you have something like really special and unique. But yeah, so the long form setup again is designed to be worn in a double loop. It's not enough beads to do a full double wrap of coverage, but that also helps it to be more comfortable and less cumbersome on the wrist. Yeah, I love these. I love the long form sets just for playing. It's very like slow and casual, but the Zircuitai is still like nice and light, so that it flips around. You can actually do a heck of a lot of tricks and stuff with these guys, and it's just like a nice change of pace from Bugleri or like pretty much any of the other stuff that we sell, right? Okay, so these are again Zircuitai, not Mokutai, these guys, and then I know that not everybody has like the budget or even necessarily the interest for the full Supreme version like what we got here, but still want to enjoy a little bit of that special material. So I decided to do a version of the titanium nanos in my own kind of preferred setup length, which we often call that the Chef Special. It's what I play with most of my sets, to be honest. I have my own sheep horn set here, and I've done it with just a couple beads more than what we would use in our short form, and I wear that with a double wrap on my wrist and a double boss. And I've done the same with my own set of nanos. So I think it just has a couple extra beads compared to the short form nanos. We've got one Zircuitai nano as an accent at the end, and then a double boss in Zircuitai here. And this is going to be the Chef Special for this month. It's a very, very lightweight, nimble set of ultras that is great for tricks. I mean, what I really like about this, apart from the double wrap on the wrist, which is my preference to begin with, it has a lot of exposed cord, and that kind of puts it more into the realm of Bugleri in terms of the tricks that you can do with it. It plays a lot like short game Bugleri, or even like even Chetki. Like a lot of the tricks that I'm doing when I flip these around are tricks that I adopted from Chetki. So anyways, this is a great little setup if you're interested in kind of getting a little bit of a taste of the exotic materials, but don't want to drop $1,000 plus on a full Mokutai or Zircuitai set. This might be a nice option for you. So here's my own kind of well-loved version, and here's a brand new one, unscathed. And we've got a little bit of a different knot mechanism here, like two snake knots and then a third kind of end knot that I developed. It probably has a name, but I developed it independently, and as a result, don't know the name for it. So anyways, it's a nice little lock setup, and it doesn't come undone, and we've got it on our blue Kevlar cord, the 2mm stuff. And yeah, as I said, I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed with any of the exotics that they pick up. Oh, rats. Just noticed these sitting over here. So these are the short form of the Zircuitai Nano MK Ultras. So put these next to their big brother here. All right. So that's it for this month's product launch preview. I forgot to take a sip of my tea here. I really like that. That's the Kuding tea again. Okay, I'm going to clear this stuff away. I got a couple of little previews for you here before I sign off. While we're talking exotics, I have to share this. I shared this on Instagram before, but this is a sample of our Zircuitai Nowhere plank, and this thing is just ridiculous. I realized that the planks are in a lot of ways like a kind of a celebration of the materials, or like a showcase for different materials, because just the shape really lets you enjoy them. And that's the same for the wood or the Delrin or titanium, or I've even got a copper one over here. This is my nicely patinaed copper sample, and we aren't producing copper just yet. It's a heavy one, and it's expensive to produce. So we're doing brass right now, and that'll be available before too long. Copper is going to come later, I suspect. But yeah, you can see the patina, and it's like a canvas on which to I guess to have nature work its art. Like it's kind of awesome. Anyways, enough with the exotics. One last thing to share with you. This is coming next month. We've finally got a batch that's like pretty much done production of the Glow POM, like the Delrin material. And I don't think we did. I think we did the Milos before, but I don't think we've done the commons before. So we got the commons in all three colors, short form and long form. So that's coming next month. And we got one other thing in the glow material as well that I'll share later on when we get it. A little preview. Finally going to do some colors for our Pocket Slims notebook. We're restocking these guys and we're going to bring in a couple of colors for you guys. And yeah, I think that's probably it. I'm still contemplating what the chef special is going to be for next month. It might be these guys because I teased these online and I saw a bunch of people were experimenting with the double cord setup, and I just like, you know, when I'm flipping around my MK Ultras, I found that like lots of times I'm just like holding the Ultras and like flipping around the tassel. And so I decided to make just like a double tassel setup of Bugleri in short form, and it's super fun. And I think, yeah, this might be the chef special for next month. Anyways, guys, I'm kind of rambling here, so let's cut it off. And yeah, thanks for watching. I guess we'll see you all on Friday. All right, take it easy. Classic. So I was finished filming, putting everything away, and I realized I forgot something. And it's not even like, you know, the most exciting thing, so I can't do like the Steve Jobs one more thing. This is just like, it's some cord, and but it's nice. It's a nice cord. This is our 4mm Kevlar, or it's our 4mm cotton cord. So we promised this last month. Ever since we did the 2mm version, we promised that we're going to have an updated version that was more comparable to 550 paracord, and this is that. So this is like our 4mm Kevlar in thickness, but it's like it's a finer weave, and it does have a core to it. So it is like squishy, it's soft, and it'll compact a little bit, but it's not going to flatten out because it does have a nice core in it. Okay. And what else can I say? It's got like a very smooth, soft, like brushed feel to it. And of course it does age a little bit quicker than some of the synthetic materials, but it breaks in nicely and it lasts plenty long. Like I've never had it like wear out on me. It's just like, because it's white and it's cotton, it tends to get a little bit grimy more quickly than some of the other materials. It's got a bit of give to it, like it's slightly dynamic, not as much as our silk cord, but more so than the cotton cord or 550 paracord that you'd be used to. Okay. But yeah, it's suitable for anything with a 4mm bore, or you could get it into something with a 3mm bore, or sorry, 3.5mm bore rather, that Goldilocks bore. Less suitable for something like the Milos that have a 3mm bore, but yeah, it does compact nicely, and if you kind of tape the ends or use a straw, you can jam it into some tighter bore beads. Okay, so we're gonna have this available in 2mm hank, or sorry, 2-meter hank, 5-meter hank, and a 10-meter hank. Okay, and it's all like, it's pretty inexpensive, but yeah, it's a really nice option, especially if you like the white color or you like the natural materials. It's definitely has a different feel to it, and it's a nice way to kind of give new life to an old set. Right? Right on. Okay, a quick word about restocks. I just received a shipment today around lunchtime. I was taking a break from editing the video and the shipment came in. So we've got the Delrin Beavertail Remeshock check key. We've got the black ones and the white ones. We have like a good supply of both of those. And then we also have the ebony planks. These are nicely packed. This is the polished version, but we have the machine finished ebony planks as well. And same deal, we got the Ultim planks. We've got the machine finished and the polished versions. So those are all going to be restocking this month as well. All right?